This is my most confident picks video, this time for UFC Shanghai, Umar Nurmagomedov versus Song Yadong. Here I'll be giving you my 7 most confident plays for this UFC Shanghai fight card. Yes, 7. I already did 5 on Wednesday, my most confident picks video for UFC Shanghai. Don't even watch it. Don't watch it. I'll be breaking down those 5 with an updated prediction and more confidence because I actually love this card a lot. And I also will be adding 2 more plays that I absolutely adore. Jackson. I love this fight card. I can't stress it enough. 6-1 or 7-0. I think that's where we actually can go. So hopefully you guys enjoy my content. We've been absolutely scorching hot. UFC Fight Nights cashing. PFL cashing. Dana White Contender Series cashing. Road to UFC to be determined later today. But I think we're going to cash that as well. I'm pretty confident in my road to UFC picks. But we're going to do a good job on UFC Shanghai. I'll be breaking down my 7 most confident plays. Hopefully you guys enjoy my content. I'm trying to get to 3,000 subscribers by the end of September. Please help me get there. I need 1,000 more. That would be very, very helpful. Appreciate it so much. All right, let's start it. Enough talking. Enough bullshit. Let's get it going. First play, Meng Ding is going to smoke Cameron Nelson. A lot of people like Cameron Nelson here, right? His record is pretty, while Meng Ding has 10 losses. But Cameron Nelson is the ultimate can crusher in Canada. He fights in Fight League Atlantic. And if you don't know what that is, I don't know either. I looked up who the opponents are. I'm like, this guy's fighting a 38-year-old. He's fighting a 40-year-old. They have like a 3-2 record and a 5-1 record. They started fighting when they're in their 30s, right? They made their pro debut when they're in their 30s, which means that they never really took mixed martial arts seriously throughout decades. They're like, you know what? I like kickboxing. I like jiu-jitsu. Might as well. I do it for fun, right? On a random Tuesday night. So might as well just keep going, see what happens. And they're like, okay, yeah, now I'm a fighter because I enjoy it. That's kind of how it is. No talent, no dedication for a long haul, right? The guys that start at 10 years old, 8 years old. They didn't have that. And Cameron Nelson is beating those guys up. Meng Ding, 45 professional fights he has on his record. He's been a nail, right, in the fight where he's going backward, using angles to be able to snipe people from the outside. He's been the hammer, going forward, using the teep kick, using the leg kicks, and really driving the 1-2 down the middle. Cameron Nelson likes to go forward and try to intimidate his opponent. I believe that Meng Ding can be able to push back Cameron Nelson, and we've never seen Cameron Nelson get pushed back in a fight, and I think Meng Ding should be able to push him back, make Cameron Nelson be the nail, which he probably isn't good at because he's crushing all these cans in Canada. I believe that Cameron Nelson is going to lose this fight pretty badly. I think Meng Ding's the more experienced fighter, obviously, and I think he's just the more talented fighter. Cameron Nelson, I believe he's a Dana White Contender Series bum. Like he's the guy who will be an underdog at like plus 300, plus 400, and people don't really believe in him. That's how I think Cameron Nelson is. Again, the UFC, they learned their mistake from Beijing when they had the fight night, Song Yadong versus Davis Figueiredo. They understood the mistake. They put low caliber UFC guys versus these Chinese Asians, okay? And then when they did that, they said, okay, maybe the Chinese Asians can beat these low-level UFC guys that are 0-2, 0-1, making their debut. Not that good, right? Not that good of a prospect. And they're losing. Those Chinese Asians are losing to these low-caliber UFC guys. So the UFC, Hunter Campbell, Dana White, Sean Shelby, Mick Maynard, like, you know what? Let's compute this. Let's bring some Dana White Contender Series guys up to the dance, up to the promotion, and fight these Chinese Asians. And I think Meng Ding is going to smoke Cameron Nelson. It's a big step up of competition for Cameron Nelson. I don't think he's ready for it. Meng Ding should be able to smoke him. Let's take him here to win this fight at minus 140. Next, Lawrence Liu. I hate giving out anything over minus 250 because it's fucked up. I'm not a scammer. I'm not a gay scammer, right? A lot of people bet $10, $15, $5 on these fights. If you're betting $10 on minus 290, you're only winning $3. But I'm very confident in Lawrence Liu. I'm very confident in Lawrence Liu because you could use him as a parlay piece as well. His grappling is so much better. He trains at a city kickboxing, and even though his striking is kind of sus, not the best, right? He's very slow, doesn't really have the talent to strike, right? And he's going against good strikers in city kickboxing, right? There's guys that are just straight up kickboxers in that gym that don't do MMA, don't do grappling. And he's seeing those attacks, Lawrence Liu, and he's staying safe. He fought a very good striker in Rainbow in his last fight. And he stayed safe through that entirety of the fight, and he's a good fighter. He goes forward, puts pressure on people. Hector Santiago fight on Thunder Fight FC. I can't even find their fights. And there's some other fights in a different promotion. I saw him going backwards. I saw him get on a single leg. I saw an opponent get on a single leg on Hector Santiago. And Santiago, instead of trying to pummel for an underhook, instead of trying to frame off the head and really create some space, he just starts punching. He just starts punching to try to get out of it. Try to knock the guy out. I'm like, bro, this guy doesn't know how to grapple. He sucks. And we saw him on the ground get submitted via rear naked choke. Lawrence Liu is a very good BJJ guy as well, and a very good grappler. I'm going to take him to out-wrestle Hector Santiago and smoke him. He's going to smoke him. I don't think this guy fight is going to be close. Next, Jack Jenkins, underdog over Sean Woodson. I saw the face-offs. Yes, the face-offs were scary. Jack Jenkins was the much smaller fighter in the face-off for Sean Woodson. But Sean Woodson coming off a loss versus a very small guy in Dan Ige, a very out-of-his-prime guy in Dan Ige, and he got knocked out. He took a year off, refreshed the chin. But what I'm going to tell you about Sean Woodson is that I believe he's just not that powerful. I don't think people respect his strikes. He's not putting people out. I think he put out Fernando Padilla, but anyone else, he's not. Who else is a long, lanky featherweight who probably should not be a featherweight? They're both anorexic. Jack Jenkins, I believe, with the calf kicks is going to work. This fight reminds me of the Cowboy Fernandez fight versus Jalen Turner that happened at UFC 330. I picked Jalen Turner as one of my most confident plays to win that fight because he had that danger factor in the first round. And if Cowboy Fernandez was very good at leg kicks, we saw in the Harry Hardwick fight, he stopped Harry Hardwick via leg kicks. If he goes for the leg kick, he's a much smaller fighter, 5'9" versus 6'3". Jalen Turner's like, all right, leg kick me. Let me throw a 2 down the middle and see how you feel about it. And that's exactly what happened. He caught a kick, threw a 2 down the middle, and basically ended Cowboy Fernandez's night right there. Knocked him out cold. The difference is Sean Woodson, even though he has the height like Jalen Turner, and Jack Jenkins is a smaller guy, the calf-kicking guy, Sean Woodson has no power. Sean Woodson also doesn't go forward in fights. He likes to go backwards. He likes to have his back on the cage. Jack Jenkins is going to march forward, is going to put the paws on Sean Woodson, who has no power on the feet. And he has durability issues. We saw it versus Luis Saldana, him get knocked out, then brought back to life because of an illegal knee. And then we saw it in the last fight versus Dan Ige. I think Jack Jenkins should be able to put Sean Woodson out here or win a decision via damage. I can see him really hurting Sean Woodson bad. I think Sean Woodson is older now. He's out of his prime. I think he's very, very slow for the division. And I think Jack Jenkins, after like the first 2.5 minutes, should be able to figure out Sean Woodson, really damage the calf, and finish this fight. Next, right away, Rei Tsuruya. He's going to win this fight via inside the distance. I did the study on it. Minus 145, Rei Tsuruya to win via KO, TKO, DQ, or submission. I love this. I love it. I absolutely adore Jackson this. You want to know why? Because Rei Tsuruya, he's a very good fighter. He's a very good BJJ guy, trains with Tatsuro Taira, had a very nice win over Luis Gurriel, who is a brute force in that division. And I believe Kevin Borjas, even though he had a win versus Andre Lima as a huge underdog, I don't think he can grapple. I think he's a 1-2 merchant. And once you get past that 1-2 and grapple underneath, grab a single leg to the double, what Rei Tsuruya is very, very good at. He's very good at judo throws. He has very good wrestling. He has really good chain wrestling. Very, very good chain wrestling. And I think Rei Tsuruya should be able to take the back of Kevin Borjas and finish him. We've seen Emmanuel Rodriguez, who's a striker from Mexico. Right now, he trains in Daniel Cormier's team. He was able to take down Kevin Borjas and inflict a lot of damage to him on the ground. And Emmanuel Rodriguez is 5'4". Rei Tsuruya is a big flyweight. He should be able to, I think, outstrike Kevin Borjas as well. Rei Tsuruya is a very well-rounded fighter. I think via submission, this fight's going to happen. He has a nasty twister. He has a nasty back take. He gets him mount and throws nasty elbows as well. Rei Tsuruya to win via inside the distance, to win via finish is my play. I love it. Next, where's he at? Andre Lima versus Batbayar. So we're going back to back right here. Okay, like we're the 91 to 93 Bulls. We're going back to back on this one's fight to not go the distance. Minus 220. You want to know why I like this? Batbayar has good power, likes to go forward, likes to be the hammer. We've seen him be the nail before and get in trouble. We've seen him get submitted on the ground. Andre Lima. What is good with Andre Lima right now? Andre Lima, he lost his last fight versus Kevin Borjas. He thought he should have won. He felt like he got robbed by the judges. How do you stop the judges from interfering with your fight? You win via finish. Andre Lima loves going forward, loves putting pressure on fighters, loves to control the distance. Batbayar needs to go forward because he's the smaller fighter and his reach is awful. Andre Lima missed weight, so he might be bigger for this weight class and he might tire out. Batbayar, not a great grappler, and I think this fight will be literally a head-on collision on who wins, right? Andre Lima throwing big shots, Batbayar throwing big shots. I think it's going to be a very, very fun fight. Let's take the inside the distance here. Andre Lima should be able to beat Batbayar. In my opinion, I think he's the better fighter. I'll take Andre Lima here to really club Batbayar, who we've seen get dropped before in fights and get finished via submission. I think Andre Lima here, he's a good submission guy, has good power, very powerful kicks to the body as well, likes to push people to the cage. Batbayar might, with the short arms, try to come in, leap in with his chin in the air, throw a counter two, throw a counter knee to something like that, or straight down the middle. I can see that happening. Batbayar does have tremendous power as well. So I'll be taking the fight to not go the distance. That is one of my favorite plays on this UFC Shanghai fight card. Okay, next. Where's he at? Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to take Sumudaerji here to beat Alex Perez. At first fight happened. This is a rematch. I took Alex Perez to win 2 months ago. I thought Alex Perez was going to beat Sumudaerji. He won the first round. He used the wrestling, used the control time to win. Then you saw Alex Perez start gassing out and Sumudaerji really controlling the range. And I think that's going to happen in the same fight. Alex Perez is an older fighter. He's not in his prime anymore. He kind of knows when the writing's on the wall in his fights, and he kind of just lets himself lose. And I think Sumudaerji, who even though had a decent losing streak, right, was a 50-50 fighter in the UFC for a long time, has now found his groove in this division and keeps on racking these wins. And I think Sumudaerji should be able to beat Alex Perez, right, do the teep kick down the middle, hurt him to the body. Alex Perez is susceptible to the body, susceptible to guillotines. Sumudaerji has a nice guillotine, and it helps him get out of trouble, which we saw in the last fight versus Alex Perez. I think Sumudaerji is going to win this fight second and third round. He should do his thing and really damage Alex Perez. I think he's going to finish Alex Perez here. I'm going to take Sumudaerji, who's just, I believe, the better fighter, the more in his prime fighter at minus 218. This is pretty good odds, especially when I believe he's going to win. And from what I saw already, he's going to win. He's probably like a minus 350, minus 400. Next, Umar Nurmagomedov, my last pick, minus 5.5 for Song Yadong. A lot of people are saying Song Yadong is going to win this fight. I don't think so. I don't think Song Yadong is as good as a lot of people think he is, right? I think Song Yadong is a gatekeeper at bantamweight. Him and Corey Sandhagen are like perfect gatekeepers. Song Yadong's like a gatekeeper of the top five. If you beat Corey Sandhagen, you're a real player in the bantamweight division. I think Umar Nurmagomedov is a real player in the bantamweight division, a title challenger, a future champion. What is he really good at? He's really good at keeping fighters at distance. And if they close the gap, he has very good takedowns and shoots, right? He's from the Nurmagomedov school. So he knows what he's doing. I believe Umar Nurmagomedov minus 5.5, which means he could win inside the distance, or he can win 49-46 across all three judges' scorecards, which is 9 points. 49-46 is 3, 49-46 is 3, 49-46 is 3. That's 9 total, right? The differential. I believe that he's going to win second, third, fourth, fifth round over Song Yadong. Song Yadong's a very good first-round fighter. We saw it versus Petr Yan. We saw it versus Sean O'Malley. We saw it versus Corey Sandhagen. We saw it versus a lot of fighters, right, where he's very good in the first round. But what tends to happen to Song Yadong afterwards? He starts to fade, right? The combinations seem to be easily more read by his opponents, right? A lot of people start evading Chito Vera, Sean O'Malley, and they start working on their offense, and then he becomes a sitting duck. We saw in the Corey Sandhagen fight, he was knocked out via a cut, doctor stoppage. And I think Umar Nurmagomedov, he needs a win via stoppage here. So the minus 5.5 will kind of take care of that as well. But I also think he's going to win via decision because he is a decision merchant. He's known as a decision merchant in his UFC career. I think the last finish he had was versus Brian Boom Kelleher. So that was a long time ago. I actually was at the fight. So was that versus Covington versus Masvidal? It was one of those fights. But I think Umar Nurmagomedov is going to win this fight if he controls him on the ground, right? Goes underneath one of Song Yadong's big misses that he overthrows on his check hook or his two, take him down the same way we saw Petr Yan take down Song Yadong. I think Umar Nurmagomedov can keep him down on the ground and then win via decision. I think he needs to go for a finish here to kind of jump Sean O'Malley in that bantamweight line. But let's just take it minus 5.5 at minus 170. This should be an easy play right here. So again, these are my 7 plays. Meng Ding, lock, love it. Lawrence Liu, minus 290. Lock, love it. He should win via submission. Jack Jenkins, underdog. Very, very good underdog. I thought he should have been favorite. Rei Tsuruya to win inside the distance, to win via finish. Love it. Batbayar versus Lima. Fight to not go the distance. I like it. Sumudaerji, money line. He should be able to get the job done versus Alex Perez. We already saw the fight, right? We saw a snippet of the fight, and Sumudaerji was winning the second round and then on his way to win a decision 29-28. Umar Nurmagomedov, minus 5.5. Again, if you can win via finish or win 3 rounds to 1 on, or 4 rounds to 1 on every judge's scorecards, we win as well. These are my 7 plays for my most confident picks video. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Like and subscribe. Peace out. Thank you. Bye.